Hello, everyone. I hope you all are enjoying your holiday season. My name is Blake Niemann, helping to get you ready for the Peach Bowl between Arizona State and Texas, a matchup we have only seen once all time. It came back in 2007, so no better way to help preview this matchup than to talk with the 2007 ASU head coach, College Football Hall of Famer, Dennis Erickson. First of all, Coach, thanks so much for taking some time with me today. And when you think back to that 2007 team, it shares a lot of similar qualities with this 2024 ASU team. Both were underdogs, not expected to do much, and went on to win conference titles, and in your case, on the back of a 7-0 undefeated start. So when you think about that 2007 year, when did you know that squad had a chance to be special?
I really in fall camp. As you know, in Arizona in those days, we weren't inside. Everything was, and they worked their rear ends off. And anytime there's a coaching change, I've been in it a few times. They got to believe in what you're teaching them, and that was kind of the key. Like I said during spring break, but it was or spring ball. But then again, I was during fall camp, and we just had to get to know them, and we did that. And we knew we had some great speed on both sides of the ball. Our receivers, running backs, Rudy, offensive front was a veteran group, so felt we were really good on offense. And then, defensively we grew, and we had some really good defensive players too. So it was just a matter of meshing it together. And then, you really don't know till you start the season. And as you said, we won our first 7 games, and most of them convincingly. So, but then again, we weren't to the bread and butter of our schedule either. And that's kind of how it ended up. We got beat by Oregon and USC at the end. And then, but we're 7-2, so we shared the title.
Yeah, like you just said, you guys share the Pac-10 title with USC and go on to play in the Holiday Bowl, where you find out you're going to be playing Texas. What was your reaction when you found out you'd be taking on the Longhorns, and what was the team's mindset going into that game?
Well, Texas is college football. I mean, that's the University of Texas and Texas football in general. And we had some Texas players playing on that team. And we were excited about it. It's a great opportunity to go down to San Diego and get a chance to play the University of Texas. It didn't end up like we wanted it to, but we got there. But it was a challenge. It was a good football team with it. But what I think it did to Sun Devil football is that, we could do that, and you could do that yearly. They're finally got it going this year. He's done a heck of a job. So it'll be fun to watch him play.
You brought up Kenny and the job he's done this year, leading ASU from being picked last to now Big 12 champions. We kind of mentioned it at the start, but do you sense that there's some similarities between that 2007 team and this year's ASU team?
Yeah, I think the cultures were very much alike, and nobody gave them a chance. And I watched a lot of their games, and they just kept getting better and better, and nobody gave them any respect. And you can use that as motivation, which obviously Kenny does. I met him a time or two, and he's got a good staff. But I saw them getting better all the time, and we came out of the chute in our year and played really well, and then kind of fell back at the end. But they were kind of the opposite. They came out early, lost a game or so, but then they just got better and better, and look where they're at right now. It's going to be a great challenge for them.
You said you've met Kenny a time or two. What have you noticed about the way he coaches that you've been impressed by or thought highly of?
Well, I've only met him once. That's up where I live. They had a Bo Moose played for me, who's assistant athletic director there. And anyway, they had a deal up here in Coeur d'Alene, Idaho. Summer ago, and I got a chance to spend a little time. But he's a motivator. He's fired up. He gets after him pretty good. It looks like to me. It's kind of hard to tell from the side, but that's and the key is he's hired a good staff, and they're doing a lot of good things, and they're playing probably as good as anybody in the country. And they'll obviously find out playing Texas.
Now, I'm assuming you've been able to catch a glimpse of Cam Scadaboo. What are your thoughts on him?
He's a stud horse, man. I'm telling you, that guy. Wow, he's physical, and he's one of the better backs in the country. And he's if I remember right, he had a story. He's at Sac State, and then he transferred, and how people missed him out of high school. But he's a big physical runner and one of the best. I think he has a heck of a future in the National Football League.
What has it been like for you to watch from afar, seeing ASU do what it's done this year, winning a Big 12 championship in its first year in the conference and winning its first conference title in general since you guys did in 2007?
Well, amazing to me. And I really liked what he said a couple of years ago when he first got there, and he's been patient. I mean, they took some lumps 2 years ago, and they just stood in there and just kept getting better and better. And that's on the coaches. I mean, they did a good job of solidifying that group, and then all of a sudden, as a player, you start winning. You look around and say, "Wow, maybe they know what they're talking about," and that makes a big difference. And then you get confidence. And then when you start winning, you like to go to games as a fan when a team wins, not so much when they lose. But when you get it going, it's an amazing thing.
Well, I'm sure you're excited to watch ASU take on Texas. It kind of comes back full circle. I mean, it's the first time they've played them since that team you coached in '07.
Yeah, I hope the results are better. And yeah, that's going to be a fun game to watch. I'm really looking forward to it.
And I know a lot of ASU fans are too. Coach, thanks again for taking some time with me today. I really do appreciate it. Enjoy the new year with your family, all right?
You too. My pleasure.